Okay guys, welcome back. So shall we buy Tesla again today? Is it a good moment to buy Tesla? As you can see, Tesla recovered a little bit from yesterday. Yesterday was at minus 6% pre-market, and closed at 1.95% closing time yesterday, basically. So it went up almost like 8% from this dip all the way to this closing day. But if you calculate how much it went up in total, if we do the trend, you click here, trend line, let's say from the bottom all the way. Okay, it doesn't work from the it doesn't allow me. I'll do it the other way around. From the top all the way to the bottom, it went up 12%. That was the highest peak. Then it lost momentum. So it actually reached 499, 399, almost 400. And the lowest it got to, it was 352, something like that. So that would have been a very good move. Buy at 352, sell at 400, and you make 12% in one day, in a few hours actually. So that would be the main goal, to be able to do this kind of movements. And it's not an easy thing. At that moment, I had no liquidity. I sold my shares 2 days ago at around 380, 380. Yeah. So I sold them to buy Slack works. So and Slack didn't do that good lately. It has been going down, and that was a mistake because I lost liquidity and I don't want to sell it at a loss, even though the loss is not too big. But I don't want to sell it to buy Tesla because at the moment I'm heavily invested in Tesla. So what shall we do, or what shall I do? In my case, I'm just gonna have to wait. And why am I gonna wait? I mean, if I had liquidity, I would buy a few more shares. I would have liked to buy them at this lower point. Pretty confident after this recovery that Tesla might go up. I mean, you can see already some up momentum here in pre-hours, and actually it was negative a few minutes ago, but it's wanting to go up. I mean, it's trying to go up. So let's see what could be the strategy for the day. So if we zoom in into pre-market, we can see so far we're trading above the 200 moving average. That's a very good sign. Yesterday it surpassed by a lot the 200 moving average. Let's calculate what percentage we were above. So more or less in a straight line from the highest peak, we were like 4.5% above moving average. That's really good sign. That's a really good recovery after the big drop after Battery Day. Then it retested the 200 and bounced back to close above moving average. But right after closing, it dropped directly in after hours, and then it recovered again, all the time above the 200. Here it's been moving around it, and at 5-minute trading. Let's do 1-minute trading. We can see more detail. Actually, when it went below the 200 moving average, the difference between 5-minute and 1 minute, it's pretty big. We could try to see what's the real percentage here. Let's see, in the lowest point, it went down 1.5%. So that's something to consider, that if it continues to go below, it might be risky to buy. It might be better to wait a little bit. And that's just in my opinion. I mean, you can do whatever you want with your money, but at this moment I would be very conservative, and I would try to do very small investments, amounts, start buying little. I know it goes against the rule. The main rule is to buy cheap. So the main rule is to buy a lot at the bottom, and it's a triangle, and that's for buying. So when you buy, you want to buy a lot at the lower price and then less as it goes up, okay? But that's what makes things complicated in trading, and especially with Tesla. You never know if it's going to go up or if it's going to go down, how much is going to go up, how much is going to go down. We just know that it has been going down for a while. It went down more or less like 20%, which that could be the limit. It retested some low areas. I'm going to see if we can, probably will do the 1 month. So it retested the 350, I think it was. It retested there and it bounced back. So could that be the very best bottom? Could it be? It could. In my opinion, it might be. I don't think it's going to go below that, at least not below the 350. The lowest it has been in the last month, that was in the 9th of August, was 329. So that acts as a support line. And so worst case scenario, it could go all the way to 329. I mean, worst case scenario, it could go below that. It could go to the hundreds. But at the moment, given the situation, given the recovery, and given that we are trading above the 200 moving average in the monthly, and we're going to check in the 5 days. In the 5 days, we're trading in 5 minutes, we're trading above the 200 moving average. So ideally, we would want to buy the most. It would have been like at least in the 367, 350, 360, something like that. That would be the triangle rule, and buy less as it goes up. And for selling, it works the other way around. So for selling, what you want to do, it's start selling as little as possible at these levels. You shouldn't pay attention to the numbers here, because I'm not saying that you should buy or sell at 400. No, ideally you have to stretch as much as possible the sell point to sell as high as possible. So for selling, the way it works is that you would start selling very few shares. The triangle represents number of shares. So here is little, more. So you sell the most shares at the highest price. Why do you do increments? The increments are so that you don't make a mistake. If you make a mistake, it's going to be a smaller impact in your portfolio. And you also do it for safety. It's like you start selling some at a profit, logically. You need to sell at a profit, and you start selling them and to gain some liquidity, basically, for when the stock drops. And you sell some in case it drops before reaching the highest point. And as I just said, don't look at these numbers at the moment. I mean, this triangle I cannot do with the system, but it should be a lot bigger. And the triangle, I mean, eventually it should be this top, it should be around the 600 or between 5 and 6. I would say that would be the super ultra ultimum highest peak price that you would want to sell, 600. And like 500 would be around here. You would sell like, I don't know, this should represent, imagine, like 50% of your shares. You should sell them at this peak, and this would be I don't know, 30. Then here you would another 10, and then the remaining 10% you split it in 5 and 3 and 2. You would sell 2% of your shares, 3, something like that. You can set your own rules. You don't have to listen to me. And this is, in my opinion, the way I would like to do it. It's not an easy thing to do. You can calculate it, you can write it down, but the market will dictate its own rules. And you may never reach this level here, which is the objective. And anything might happen. Anything might happen with Tesla, anything might happen with any other stock. We know that Tesla, it's a very strong stock. It's a strong company. We know what they're trying to do. We know their strategy. We know Elon Musk, it's not even getting a salary out of it. So he's heavily invested. It's true he gained a lot of shares due to the way his salary was set up. I mean, and the compensation. But yeah, I mean, that's why basically you should trust Tesla so much, because it's in his interest that Tesla will go up, that Tesla will have profit. And this is just what I would do. And shall we trade now? Okay, going back to the initial question, would this bottom here be this point, the reality? I'm talking about this number? Probably not. Probably this bottom would have been at around the 350. That's when you would have liked to buy the most, like 50% of your portfolio. Obviously, you don't know if that's the bottom. So you shouldn't do such a big investment right there. But now that we are above the 200 moving average, I would say, wow, now this might be a good moment to start buying heavily. You don't have to buy 50%. You can do 30, 20%. Start slowly, and as it goes up, you buy more. Don't forget something. You will have many opportunities to buy at this price range. At this price range, like where we are right now, because Tesla most likely it will go up and it will test or retest the 200. It will go down. Think also that the 200 will move higher up. So when it retests the 200 moving average, it will be at a higher point. If it drops a lot, the 200 moving average is going to start changing direction, inclination on the down movement. And in that situation, if you see that, that might be the moment to stop buying and consider to start selling a few shares. So today, I think it's a very technical day. It's a technical point, difficult to decide what to do, because we are exactly at that turning point that could go anywhere, basically. So I would make small movements, small decisions based on what happens when the market opens. If you see a rally that starts to go up, okay, I would start buying some. Don't forget that when the rally happens, it reaches a saturation point and then it drops. How can you check that? You can use the RSI to check for those saturation points. So when it reaches the top green line, the 80, that's when most people are going to start selling off. So that's a good sign for you not to buy when that's going to happen. So so as I said, there will be many opportunities to buy in this triangle area. Let's say if the triangle will be like this, and you will need to define in your own portfolio what percentage represents each area of the triangle. It would be nice here if you could just draw a triangle. You can do a rectangle, an ellipse, but not a triangle. That would be something very nice. So if we check a Fibonacci, let's see what we get. So more or less, the rule of thumb is the 61.880 or 8. I'm gonna close this. It's tough to see. I have to move it up, but I don't know how to move it. I don't know. Can I move this like this? Oh, okay, there we go. This is not something I use very often. Actually, I never use it. It's the first time I actually use the Fibonacci. But here we are at ground zero. Could we use this as the triangle that will help us out? The percentages actually don't represent these percentages, because here you see 0 and all of a sudden you're at 61. So it doesn't make sense. No, I wouldn't use this. You will need to find exact points that will represent those percentages, and that's not the case right now. It will get too complicated, so forget about it. Don't listen to me, as I just said. Clear drawings. I'm gonna clear everything. Bye bye, and start from scratch. Okay, so I don't know, I'm putting some things on the table, and it's up to you to decide. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope it helps, and leave me some comments, okay? Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye. And please don't forget to like and subscribe.